Candy Cross. Hi, my name is Anna and I'm a singer.
Hi, my name is Peyton and I'm a dancer.
And today, what are we doing today?
Today, it is our first time reacting to a brand new group, and we will be catching up on Purple Kiss from pre-debut to now.
Today we're reacting to Purple Kiss, and they just debuted today, but by the time this video is out, it will have been yesterday. Timeline is complicated, but we had on our request list there are two pre-debut tracks, which are My Heart Skip a Beat and Can We Talk Again. So those are the first two videos we're watching today, and we pre-recorded those, so we'll be in different outfits. And since those are pre-debut, we don't have as much commentary for those really, but finally, as the last video, we'll be watching their debut. It's in Spanish. Neither of us speak Spanish. Ponzoña? I'm sorry if I said that wrong. But yeah, and for that we'll have our regular commentary that we usually do.
And there's timestamps for all of that below.
Yeah, so let's go. I don't know why I was expecting this to be not intense like this. Oh! Ooh! That's cool.
Chains. I hope they use those a lot. I also really like their outfits, like both of them that we've seen.
This is really like hard for a song with a title called My Heart Skip a Beat.
It's true.
It's not really what you think of, you know?
It's not like
Oh.
Oh, their rapper's really cool.
Oh.
Smart work.
Oh.
The dance also, like, it fits the music, but when you hear the music, it's a little bit like slower, I guess, at this really intense part, if that makes sense, than you'd expect.
Because it's just been really intense electric guitar. Oh.
Oh, I like that the chain is in the individual shots too.
Purple Kiss.
I was not expecting that.
Oh, you can see where there's a spot. Yeah.
Where there's what?
Tell you later.
Oh. Wow, they really did like a drum thing.
Uh-huh. Do you know what it is? It's their feet in that part move faster than their upper bodies. I was trying to figure that out. Oh!
Mm.
And it boom, boom.
Oh, heartbeat sound.
Thank you.
So, like we said in the beginning, since this is a pre-debut song, and also for the next one, since they're pre-debut songs, we're not gonna say a lot, but we will say like our usual comments for their official debut song in that part of this video. Anyways, Peyton, would you like to start?
Yeah, so just a couple of things. So one, I thought it was really interesting and also really nice that they hadn't completely rearranged the whole choreography, because they are missing one member in this. And so there are a couple of times where in their formations you can see where there's a 7th spot open. And so I was like, oh, that's really sweet. And also it means that there is a 7-member version out there somewhere. The chorus, what I thought was really interesting was how I couldn't really put it into words while we were reacting. I was just kind of talking at it. It gets super intense, but the dancing doesn't speed up to like the level that the music is going, like you would expect, which is kind of nice because it doesn't make you feel too overwhelmed, because really fast dancing plus really high intensity music would be a little overwhelming. But there are some parts where they're moving to the beat, but there's always something a little bit slower. So like if their feet are moving really fast and they're doing like a slower arm or like a rocking body, so it gives you a little bit of like a moment. And then the other thing I thought was interesting was that dance break, where I was like, are we going into a stomp section? Like, is this step dancing? This is so interesting. And yeah, I don't know why I didn't think this would be intense, but it was literally intense from start to finish.
Yeah.
Those are my like.
Well, no. I know why we thought it wasn't going to be intense. It's because of the title of the song. Like that.
You're right.
Like,
Yeah.
My heart skipped a beat is usually like something you associate with more like of an innocent concept, and that's not what this was. Yeah, it's really high intensity right from the start with like the really intense electric guitar and just like the percussion that they're choosing to use. But there was like moments that reminded me that this is a pre-debut song for like introducing their upcoming group. Like you were talking about the sudden dance break, I was like, okay, yeah, they're highlighting their dancer in this section, and then the section with the rapper when she's like in the center and everyone is like faced out, I was like, now they're highlighting the rap. Since this is their like pre-debut release, this is really like setting the tone for what to expect from when they do debut, but also like really high intensity to show like rookie energy, you know.
Okay, next. Okay, so now we'll be watching their other pre-debut release, which was Can We Talk Again? And this is a music video, not a performance version. Not a performance video. I feel like this one might be angsty.
Yeah.
I kind of cheated. I saw that the thumbnail was someone sitting in a bathtub.
Not fair. You cheated. This is interesting. Oh. Memories. Oh.
It kind of feels like, you know, like Twisted Fairy Tales.
Oh.
That's what it's reminding me of. Especially because of all the tiaras.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blue Rose.
Always.
Always. What do blue roses mean?
It's because they're not naturally occurring. Fantasy.
Yeah, the whole fairy tale thing that you have. I mean, also just because they're thinking about memories. The instrumental is really like hazy.
Mm.
All the reverb echo.
This is definitely letting each of them be highlighted. Like,
Oh.
lots of glamour shots.
And they each have their own setting.
Yeah. Great for
Oh.
a pre-debut song.
What? I don't get it.
I don't either. Is this storyline gonna somehow be tied to their debut?
And, oh, there's a thought. Maybe? Maybe because it is, like, so... This one was released so soon before their debut.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. I
Well,
mean,
I
we'll find
also-
out soon.
I was
So,
gonna say, I also saw the day we're filming this, like a teaser for their debut came out, and it's like intro : crown. So I was thinking like all of
and
the
they-
tiaras in
yeah.
there, like is it related? I don't have a lot to say about this one. There's no dance, but like very angsty. Definitely gives all of the members FaceTime so that you like start recognizing them and what their parts are.
towards the beginning of the video, I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I did not elaborate why I thought it was interesting. What I thought was interesting is the stylistic choices that they're making with their voices. Usually in K-pop, when people sing with stylistic choices, it's like a poppy voice. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm like, oh, I have a very clear image and sound in my mind when I think of like pop style singing. But theirs for the song is leaning towards like jazzy stylistic choices. Especially with the vowels, they feel a little bit more like that sort of closed off And maybe it's because like I know that they're from RBW. I'm like, oh, did they get influenced? But also it does, that style of singing fits the vibe of this specific song more. Like it's angsty, but there's still like a groove to it.
I mean, as far as pre-debut singles go, they definitely showed off dancing, and then they showed off like, look what we can do with our voices. And now next we're gonna get to watch their debut.
Yeah, it's very smart and effective. But also they put a lot of work, like effort and money into these pre-debut releases.
The
I'm
standards
like,
for their debut is already so high. But that being said, debut?
let's hope. Alright, so now we're finally watching their debut music video. I don't want to say the name wrong again, but debut music video, and we watch the teasers leading up to this and all that jazz. So yeah, let's go.
I like her hands.
Oh yeah, I noticed they used a lot of strings in the teaser.
It's sort of like witchy.
What? Oh, witchy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting. Sonia.
Oh, 혼전이야. Okay. Oh, the piano line was cool.
Mm. I like how everything is slightly purple lighting over it.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And like even red, like purple's in that family.
Aw. It becomes more up-tempo.
Mm.
Who's the person that just came in?
Oh.
Oh.
I still think their rapper's so cool.
Oh, she is.
Oh, it's
the
like a
Black
spider
Widow.
in the dance.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Oh, this is like so ominous.
I told you it's witchcraft.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, what is it? The title means poison. So, it's fitting. Oh, it's moving.
Oh, that like
Yeah.
eyebrow.
Mm-hmm. And then their hands are like the crown things.
Yeah.
Or is that there?
Or it could be the purple kiss.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
So I'm going to point out a couple of things that stuck out to me a lot in the dance, even in the music video. The first thing that stuck out to me was how much they're working in an open second position, facing straight forward. The rules of dance do differ across different styles. I'm coming from a ballet background, classical and contemporary ballet. When I saw that, the first thing I thought was like, oh yeah, of course, because they're villains. Because obviously in the music video, there's like witchcraft, witches, like sacrifices. In ballet, when you're working in a front-facing second position, that's a very provocative position to be in, especially if you bend your legs. And so it's reserved for certain characters, usually villains, usually witches, because in a lot of lore, especially in a lot of stories or dance stories, witches are luring you in, they're being seductive, like they're trying to pull you in. And so as soon as they did it in the chorus, they like dropped into second position and arched back. I was like, oh yeah, they're villains. That was my first thought. They do it a lot. Like there's so much work in second position in this, and a lot of it is where like their whole bodies are like dropped back and they're like pushing their pelvis forward. And I was like, yeah, this makes like it tracks perfectly. And in a similar vein of thought, there's a lot of movements in it that are meant to be very seductive, obviously, and very entrancing. And like there's the ones that you would think of, like there's body rolls, there's the body rolls where like their hands come down their body with it. But also the quality of the dancing that they're doing is meant to be more entrancing, because like it's done at a speed where it's not so fast that you're having to actively pay attention to it to interpret it and to catch it, but it's also not being done so slow that you're like, okay, I'm bored, I can look away, and I looked back and I still like can follow. You're kind of like falling into it. One good example of that is into the second chorus when they sort of open up in the flower. I'm gonna call it a flower. The way that their arms fall, they like kind of burst open and then fall. And I was kind of just like tracking. I was like, oh, and their arms are falling. And that was when I noticed. I was like, oh, it's like pulling you into the dance. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's definitely their hand symbol that they're doing at the end. Because like it does look sort of like a crown, which goes with the like album title. But also they work in that position a lot. And I noticed it the second time I was watching, once I'd seen it at the end, I was like, oh, their hands are like almost always here, or like moving and crossing and coming back together. So I think it's supposed to represent their symbol, which makes sense too, because they're talking about like Purple Kiss in the lyrics. So they're referencing themselves through the dance as well. The music video shots are really cool. Like obviously it's horrifying, but it's that sort of like beautiful horror where you can't look away. Okay, Anna's turn.
Hello, time for my comments. So, first thing I wanted to say was, musically, this song was different than what I had been expecting based on their 2 pre-debut releases. I had honestly expected them to debut with a song similar to My Heart Skip a Beat. I don't want to say like minimal, because it still has like the intensity, so it's like a mix of the two, I guess. I mentioned in the reaction, I was like, oh, they're kind of using classical instruments, or did I say strings? Either way, strings is one of the classical instruments that they're using a lot in this song. Obviously they have the piano, and also the percussion in this song is like softer percussion. Like you hear a lot of snaps. It's like, is it a shaker sound? Kind of a shaker sound that they're using as well, so it's just kind of light. Even as the song progresses, the most intense percussion that you get, I'm not talking about the dance break, is like a kick drum sort of hit. But those sort of sounds track with what you're seeing in the music video, because this concept is more like, it's sort of like that refined, because like you're saying, it's kind of like witchy. I'm pretty sure there are mythology references in this, but a few little things in the song that I liked. When the strings do the descending line into the dance break, for one thing, that was just like really nice because it's a theme that you've already heard, but then it gets brought to the front and highlighted even more because everything else is silent before they go into the dance break. The dance break was just really interesting though, because it was just so minimal instrumentally, which you would almost never hear for a dance break. Okay, it does still have like all the distorted synths that your typical K-pop dance break would have, but it has much fewer layers. This song also just plays with silence a lot more. And the last thing that I really wanted to say though was the stylistic choices in their singing are really interesting to me once again. I kind of mentioned it in Can We Talk Again? I just thought it was an interesting choice that a lot of the time when the phrase that they're singing ends on an open vowel, like an ah, oh, like that, and there's no consonant to end it, the way they're enunciating it sounds like they've added an R to the end of the word. And that's a really interesting effect because it kind of cuts off the sound instead of just leaving it open and ringing out. It's really interesting. I need to go back and listen to the other 2 pre-debut songs and like other songs of theirs to see if it's just like how they sing in all of their songs or if it was just for this one. But it was just something that really stuck out to me in this song. And that's all I have to say. Right? You noticed it too.
Yeah, I was just thinking though, because R is kind of like a softer consonant to end on, especially that R. That's like a very British like ending R.
It's like French.
It's like that soft, like,
Yeah.
seducing you feeling again.
Because it's not like you hear the R sound, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's something there, like blocking it up.
Okay, well, TLDR for this video, this very long video, if you made it to the end, congratulations, it was our first time reacting to Purple Kiss. We reacted to both of their pre-debut tracks, and we thought we had an idea of what to expect for their debut song, and then they brought something new that still sort of had elements of the pre-debut songs that we were expecting, but also showed something else that they could do in a new way. So, overall, successful planning.
But that being said, if you enjoyed this reaction and are curious to see what Purple Kiss will do in the future now that they've officially debuted, then please leave a like, comment, subscribe,
Ding!
turn on your notification bell, and bye!